Well, hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. My guest tonight is me. This is the seventh day in a row that I have been doing my free Dinner with Chef AJ series, where every night I make 4 to 5 recipes from my new book, the 10th anniversary edition of Unprocessed. Thank you so much to everyone who has purchased it. It means the world to me. You help it out. You help me out so much, but not just me, but the plant-based movement, because when a book like this does well, it just helps the momentum of the plant-based movement. And to thank you so much for those who have ordered and those who will order by midnight Pacific time on Sunday, April 3rd, the year 2022. If you kindly send us your receipt, email it, or a screenshot of your receipt to chefajbonus@yahoo.com, we'll send you almost $100 worth of bonuses. People keep saying, how's it different than the original Unprocessed? Very different. Really beautiful colored photos by Hannah Kaminsky, new preface, new forward by Dr. John McDougall, 30 brand new recipes, some that I made this week, and all the other recipes have been updated where possible to include lower fat options. And I think that's about it. Yeah. Oh, so the bonuses, you get 3 exclusive cooking classes that I sell for $25 each. And they are 2 hours long. They're video, instructional video with the PDF of the recipes and the audio files of the book, which will soon be available on Audible, but you'll get it for free. So without further ado, I'm going to head over to the kitchen where I'm going to make the final meal of the Dinner with Chef AJ series. So I will go there right now. Okay, coming. Well, hello. Hello. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. So tonight I'm going to show you how I make date paste. I'm going to make a really popular recipe. It's called Peanut Butter Fudge Truffles. And of course, I'll give you a lower fat option. And I am going to make spicy peanut noodles with broccoli. And that's something we often make at Rancho Puerto that's delicious. So the first thing we're going to do is, because we're using peanut butter. Oh, we're also going to make peanut butter chocolate ice cream. So I like to make my own peanut butter because number one always it tastes better. It really does. Homemade is pretty much always better than store-bought. It's a lot cheaper and it's a lot more environmentally friendly because you don't have all that glass or plastic. And the machine that really is unparalleled for making nut butters is the Nutrimill. And so I make nut butter quite a bit. It's already paid for itself because my husband eats a couple of PBJs every day for lunch, in addition to whatever he eats, like salad or leftovers. And it's really easy. I have 2 pounds of roasted but unsalted peanuts, and all I do is put them in the machine and push a button. Now, I'm not going to, before I let it go all the way to peanut butter, I need to just crush a few of them because I need a few that are not peanut butter just to sprinkle on top of the noodle dish and the truffles. So you're going to see me stop it just because I need a few crushed nuts. So let's just do that first. Okay. So I'm just doing that because I don't want peanut butter on top of that. So I'm just going to just take a few out. Bowl. This is incredible that it's going to make the peanut butter in like 1 minute, but maybe I'll let it go for 2. So I'm just going to take some of these out because I need to roll the truffles in something. And I'm going to roll them in peanuts. But if you're allergic to peanuts, you could use almonds, of course. You could actually also use tahini. This Nutrimilk makes great tahini. So now I'm going to start again with our little crushed nuts over here. I'm going to show you how quick this is. I'm going to just let it go for 1 minute. Let's see. That's 16 minutes. I'm just going to go 1 minute and let's see what happens. We can always add a minute. is what we're making tonight. And it's, okay, so it's going to need 1 more minute. But so what? 2 minutes is still pretty quick to make peanut butter. 1 more minute. I mean, look at that. It was probably done sooner than 2 minutes, but this makes such creamy peanut butter. It doesn't get all hard in the refrigerator like the kinds you buy commercially. There's no additives or stabilizers. It's just the real deal. And it's so yummy and nothing but peanuts. You will save so much money with the Nutri Milk. I have a $50 off coupon if you'd like it, that I'd be happy to share with you. Linda has some questions.
Yes, Valerie wants to know where to get the Nutri Milk, and Randy wants to know, is that machine different than any other food processor?
Yeah, it is, because you know, I'm really tired, I'll be honest. It's been a long week. I've done so many interviews with the CEO, Carolyn Chen, where she explained the physics and the technology of why it's different. But this really is a machine that makes nut butters and nut milks or any other kind of milk, oat milk. That's what it was designed for. So yeah, it is. I mean, what can I tell you? I mean, you can't make 2-minute peanut butter in a Vitamix or a Blendtec or a food processor that will come out like this. And this one, this is what we had in the fridge, and you can see it's like it stays really soft and creamy. And yeah, it's different. It's more powerful, and it has those things that move around, so you don't have to be scraping down the sides. Anyway, I'm going to be taking it out now because we need it for our recipes. But I'll put the discount code in the show notes as soon as I'm done here.
And Sandra wants to know if you can get the bonuses with the ebook as well as the printed book.
Well, with the Kindle, I don't believe we have an ebook, but at Kindle,
yes,
yes,
we do have ebooks.
Oh, we do have an ebook.
Yes, it's going to other ebooks like the Barnes and
I
Noble,
thought it didn't.
possibly some others. However, they can find it.
As long as you send us a legitimate receipt before midnight Pacific time on April 22nd, yes, we'd be happy to give you the bonuses. Okay, so I'm just taking this out of here, and we're going to use it in the recipes. And I'm going to leave just about 2 tablespoons in here because that's what we need. We're going to make the ice cream in here. So I'm just going to leave that in here. But wasn't that easy? 2 minutes. This reminds me, there's a place on 3rd and Fairfax. I lived in LA most of my life, called the Farmer's Market, and they have McGee's Nut House, and they used to make pistachio butter, and they'd have a big machine like this. It was going all the time. Macadamia nut butter, boy, that was good stuff. All right, so we'll leave that here, and I think I'll finish with the desserts before we go over to make the entree. So, you know, date paste is something that you can now buy commercially. Actually, you know, it's been a while. You can. I started using dates as my exclusive sweetener in 2008, about 15 years ago, before it was even cool to do that. And now you can buy date paste commercially, but the problem is it's often very hard. And in my recipes, I've created a ratio that suits my recipes. So I would recommend, if you do my recipes, use my liquid to date ratio. But here it is. I'm going to be making just a ½ pound, and I've got it soaking in the liquid. You always want to keep the soak liquid for fruit. For nuts, seeds, throw it away. It's not very good. It's kind of toxic, actually. But for the dates, if you throw away the soak liquid, a lot of the sugar has gone in there. So we're just going to put that in this food processor because that one's busy. And we'll just put this into a paste. And that's it. I'm going to leave it here right. Well, no, actually, I think I'm going to take it out now that I think about it. You know, you can make date paste with any liquid. Most of the time, honestly, I just use water. But since I was making a dessert recipe, I decided to just use some almond milk. And spatula. And you can freeze date paste. It freezes really well. I actually put a little bit more liquid in here than the recipe calls for because I know when I'm making is truffles, and I just did that so then I wouldn't have to then add milk or plant milk to the recipe. And if you've tuned in all week, you know my little trick for cleaning the blade. It's based on centrifugal force. Quickly pulse. Blade becomes virtually clean like that. Boy, I can't tell you, I've been making these truffles for 15 years. I used to go to PCRM functions at the Hollywood Hills and have to bring like 500. I remember my friend Tim would help me roll them, and we used to have these little rolling parties. Okay, so I've got my date paste here, which I'm going to have to actually put it back in. But anyway, just wanted to show you the process how to do that. So now to make the peanut butter fudge truffles. So need my measuring cup here. I really didn't have to take it out, but I kind of, doing it as if we're doing the real thing. I knew how much it was gonna make, but a little bit, okay. And then my peanut butter, and again, if you like almond butter better, or cashew butter, or tahini. Now, the way to lower the fat in this recipe, believe it or not, is with beans. And because this is going to have cocoa powder in it, you're not going to notice the black beans. So you would put in black beans, not instead of the nut butter, but is for a large portion of it. So you put in the beans with the date paste and the cocoa powder, and then you need to add in, like a quarter cup at a time, your nut butter to give it that richness, but you could considerably lower it by, a half at least if you do that little trick. So, and if you don't do chocolate, you could just make peanut butter truffles. These would be delicious. I suppose carob would work. I don't care for carob. It's kind of, like it. If you like it, you could use it. Okay, so now my cocoa or cacao powder. Organic cacao brand that Linda had. The Trader Joe's was out. And so now I'm going to puree this again. And this is, you could frost a cake with this. This stuff is amazing. And like I say, you usually have to add some liquid to it, but I just added it to my date paste because I've done this a lot of times. Don't try this at home. Okay. Now there's lots of uses for this. Now we're going to roll it into some truffles, but I want to show you some really other great uses for it once I get it into a bowl. Now, when you're rolling it into truffles, it's better that it's nice and firm. And I'll show you what I mean by that. It is pretty firm right now. I could have let the food processor go a little bit longer. And not so much that it freezes hard, but just because it's easier to roll. And you have to roll these in something, or it's just going to be a sticky kind of thing. So if I'm making peanut butter fudge truffles, then I'll roll it in peanut butter. If I'm making it with almond butter, I'll roll it in almonds. If I'm making it with tahini, I would roll it into sesame seeds. If I was making it with hemp seeds, I'd roll it, or hemp butter, I'd roll it into hemp seeds. So you get the idea. Let the outside inform the inside. But I want to show you the coolest thing you can do. It makes amazing, amazing caramel apples. Another thing you can do with this is there's a recipe in the book
that I used to love to make called Nutty Buddies, because I used to love to go to Disneyland and get those frozen bananas, or go to Balboa Island near Newport Beach and get frozen bananas. And I would take bananas on a stick, like I'm doing with the apple in just a minute, roll it into this, roll it into the nuts, and freeze it. And boy, was that funny. So I've got my peanut butter fudge here. Space. No matter how much room you have, you need more. Oh, one of the things I forgot to say is people keep asking me about this, my famous pie recipe. It's not in the book, it's in the bonuses. So if you're thinking, well, I already have one processed, yeah, but you don't have this. You only get it with the bonuses. And this is probably my best pie recipe ever. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's see if I have my scoop. I don't want to spend time looking for my scoop. This is a very, very big scoop, you have to understand. I would not normally make a truffle that big, but just to show you how it's done, you take a scoop, but not one this big, a much smaller scoop, and then you take your truffle in your smaller scoop, and then you have to plop it in something so that you can then roll it around. Hopefully this won't be too big for Steve to eat. He'll love it, I think. So this is like literally a giant truffle, but you get the idea. We're rolling it into balls. So you get a smaller scoop, and then you can put it in little candy papers that you can buy at places like Michael's or, you know, Walmart even. And then I've actually taken these and put it in candy boxes, like for C's Candy. So here we have our giant truffle, and I'm going to just stick this in the refrigerator because I think everything tastes better cold, or at least dessert tastes better cold. But what's really fun to do is you get a stick at a craft store and you put an apple on it, and then you roll the apple. Let me get some wet hands so that I can touch the stuff. You kind of have to, this is kind of how I make caramel apples. I do this with date paste, but this is like a caramel apple on steroids. It's kind of like the ones they sell at the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. If you've ever been there, they have them. Well, they have them a lot of places in California. I like to leave a little bit of the top showing so people know the apple is there. That's kind of standard in caramel apple making. And look at that. This is literally to die for. And then roll it in the nuts, and that people will go crazy. And you can go all the way with the nuts or leave a little bit of chocolate showing, but this is like the best, I promise you. And yes, it's a little bit richer, but the fact that it has no refined sugar is still miles and miles ahead of most treats out there. Let's get a little plate for that. This is really fun to do around Halloween. So isn't this beautiful? Seriously. So let me go put that in the fridge. Hopefully Steve will be able to eat this as well. Okay. You know, so we don't have to come back and forth. I'm going to just make the ice cream right now. And we're going to make it in the Nutri-Milk machine, which has just a little bit of peanut butter left in it. And we're going to add our cocoa powder. The milk that has our peanut butter already in it. I'm going to have to look this recipe up because I haven't made it in a little bit. It's one of the new ones in the book. I think it's called chocolate peanut butter. Let's see. Chocolate. Oh, let's take a look. It would be in the dessert category, hopefully. That's what I did wrong in the first book. I put all the desserts at the beginning. Nope, not a good idea. Yeah, chocolate peanut butter and ice cream. Okay. Yeah, so I need my bananas. They're frozen, and when I'm using the Nutri-Milk, I slice them instead of putting them whole. Top on. Oh, I need the little claw thing that goes around. That's important. You don't have to take the top down. Not doing this right. There. Probably not right. There. Yeah, just go one way goes the other. So here we go. That didn't take 2 minutes. That happened so, oh, I'm gonna go just a little. There's a couple of it in the chunk that wasn't. Why are you doing this to me? What am I doing wrong, Charles? This way? This way.
And now it's
No. Why is he doing this to me? Only does this when I'm doing a show. He does this all the time. I think because my hands are wet. Oh my God. No. Okay, perfect. Now, we're just gonna put that in the dish. Should have taken all this out before we have these cute little ice cream dishes that we got at Oriental Trader. So we have chocolate peanut butter. And then I do give you ideas for, oh, look at this. Oh man, how to make it lower in fat by using powdered peanut butter. It's not something I've ever used because I just prefer not to use processed food if there's a way I don't have to. Okay, so look at that. 2 people are going to have yummy chocolate peanut butter ice cream. And so each person is getting about a tablespoon of peanut butter and a tablespoon of cocoa powder. And the Nutri-Milk really does do it very quickly. There's more in here. Oh my God, this is so rich and creamy. So, and you just serve it with a little spoon. If you want, you could just put a few peanuts on top, you know, just like that, or a little California balsamic and chocolate. So there you have really easy chocolate peanut butter ice cream. I'm going to stick these in the freezer and then make the entree. All right. Just want to get my peanut butter with me and take it over there. So let me measure it out here. So we're going to make spicy peanut noodles. And I did cook my pasta in advance, but I always do. I mean, whenever we're having pasta, you can cook it earlier in the day. It's not a problem. Okay. And I already cut my scallions. One of the things I like to do when I'm doing like food with an Asian flair is cut them on the diagonal. This is a yellow lentil pasta. And then I already cooked up my broccoli using my Pampered Chef microwave steamer. And I'm going to take everything over to the stove. You got to come over to the stove. We'll be right there. You got to walk around. All right, so I have my pan and I'm heating it up. I've already measured out I always forget to turn on the Instagram. Oh, well, I meant to do that. I only did it the first night. I have my liquid ingredients measured out with my spices and I'm putting it in my pan. Then I'm going to add my peanut butter. I need to cook that off or cook it down, not cook it off. Now, the original recipe and unprocessed called for either low sodium soy sauce, low sodium tamari, coconut aminos, but those all have sodium. So if you want to do this completely sodium free, a whisk would be better than a spatula. I don't know where one is right now. It will still work. If you want to keep it completely sodium free, in place of the soy sauce, use California balsamic teriyaki would be my first choice. My second choice, and I have it right here already measured out instead of the soy sauce. And if you didn't have teriyaki, I think either of these flavors would work, Gilroy garlic or sweet heat. Sweet heat would, of course, make it a little bit hotter. And then instead of using maple syrup, like I said, a whisk would be better to get this all incorporated. Let's see if I can find one. I think it'll be fine. Instead of using maple syrup, I like to use date syrup, and I have a discount code, I believe 10%. So we're just going to add a bit of that. And then, of course, ginger and garlic. I like to freeze my ginger, but I just found a frozen ginger that's really, really clean. So I'm going to start using that. It didn't have any salt or oil in like the frozen garlic did at the store. So I'm going to take my frozen ginger and I'm going to juice it, basically. See, look at all that juice that comes out. So I don't need the fibrous part. So we've got the ginger. I fashioned this dish after something I used to love at an LA restaurant called Chin Chin. They had broccoli peanut noodles that were amazing. But of course had all the ingredients that I didn't want to eat, like oil and sugar and salt. So this is my whole food plant-based version. These are little great containers I use for freezing the ginger. I'm sure I have a code for those too. They're called Zip Top, environmentally friendly. So now I've got everything I need for the sauce in there. And I just want to cook it for a little bit. You can see it stays nice and thick. It's so delicious, I gotta tell you. And sure.
Do you freeze the ginger with the skin on?
No, I freeze it with the skin off. Good question. Thank you. So now it's all cooked and incorporated. And so now I'm going to add my other ingredients. My pasta. I'm just going to get it all incorporated with the sauce. I should add the broccoli too. I'm telling you, this is delicious. Putting it on low heat now because it doesn't need to cook anymore. I just got to get the sauce into the noodles. And I got these noodles at Trader Joe's. They're red. I'm a gluten-free person, but they're red. Excuse me, not red. They're yellow lentil pasta. Wow, this is going to be amazing. You know, it might be better to use my little tongs. Yeah, I think that's going to be better. Get it all together into the pasta. This is a lot of pasta. I mean, this will serve, well, you know, I mean, a lot of people, I would say minimum 4 as an entree. We haven't even added the broccoli yet. And there is a little bit of red pepper in the sauce ingredients. It's not going to be too spicy, but if you like it spicier, you can always sprinkle it on top. And then now we're going to add the broccoli. Broccoli, oh, look at that, guys. This is like delicious. Whoa. Yeah. People love this. We are done. I'm going to take it over to the counter over here and show you how to plate it. Linda, you better tell Steve we're eating early tonight. This did not take very long at all. My recipes are very quick and easy for the most part. The only one that maybe takes a little bit of time is the lasagna. So we just put it on a plate. Make sure the person is getting enough broccoli, of course. You don't want to skimp on the broccoli. And then you can just take a little sesame seeds on top. And if the person likes it a little spicy, just a smattering of the pepper, and that's it. Spicy peanut noodles with broccoli. So thank you so much for tuning in all week to my special Dinner with Chef AJ series. I hope you tried some of these recipes. And if you did, you like them. And once again, I really appreciate you tuning in, appreciate the support of my book. And that's it. So come back tomorrow for my regular YouTube show at 11 a.m. Pacific when my I get tired at night. My guest is Christy Cambor, and we're going to be talking about compassion without borders. So thanks everyone, and happy eating. Bye-bye.